To get to the Black Mountain Fire Lookout just north of Idlewild, you drive along a winding gravel road, unlock the gate, and head up the mountain like volunteers do every day. Their destination, this tiny metal cabin perched high above the treetops.
Pull it up, swing it up, it's on a weight, and we are here. Welcome to Black.
Candy Kersey's one of the volunteers who keep records, track weather conditions.
What we're doing now is checking the wind direction.
And greet visitors who drop in from time to time or fly by. But most importantly, she and some 300 others keep an eye out for fires. George Hall has been doing it for 11 years.
Hi, George!
George and Candy often sign up for shifts that last just a few hours, but sometimes they stay overnight. George on his own, Candy with her husband. This time they're teaming up to give us a rare glimpse into life at the top.
San Bernardino, Black Mountain, out of service, in tower overnight.
That means as the sun goes down and the wind kicks up, they've lowered the flag and settled in for the evening. But the radio is always on, because if they do see flames, they'll be calling in.
I hope I don't miss any, but I'm happy when I don't see any.
Accommodations here are rustic, a bit crowded tonight, with Candy hosting a reporter in the tower and George sharing the garage below with the photographer.
I brought a sleeping bag.
There's no electricity here, but in the garage there is this.
We flush it, just like any other toilet. Goes down. The only thing is now the water's out. Gotta take this off. And fill this up with water.
Outside the tower, a gorgeous sunset, star-filled sky, and sparkling city lights.
And it's just lighting up the ground all over the place. It's like looking at a big Christmas tree.
While inside the tower,
This is like camping. I've been camping since I was a kid.
to pass the time, a board game, lots of food, and photos of fires that volunteers have spotted.
It's an adrenaline rush when you spot a fire. You want to be the first one to report it.
Sometimes, however, that thrill turns to fear, like during the Sawtooth Fire, which cost one man his life and destroyed 50 homes.
It does start out so small. You know, it starts out as just a single plume going up, and then it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And at the time we called it in, they said it was a flare-up from another fire, and we just watched it grow.
Except for the howling of the wind, this night is quiet. And the next morning, a spectacular sunrise.
Black Mountain, go ahead.
Clear, 60.
Candy, the first one up, gets the ball rolling in the tower, then checks on George in the garage.
Good morning, George. I'm bringing you coffee in bed.
It's not the usual drill, but today they're celebrating everything that's special about this place, from the kind of scenery that money just can't buy to the visitors that have passed this way, visitors of all kinds.
What's this you're getting?
Peanuts.
For what?
They're the squirrels, my friends. Let me get it.
Is that all you say to them? You don't tell them your problems?
No, I don't tell them my problem. I don't have any problems.
Oh, okay.
Not when I'm up here.
Sheryl Kahn, KESQ News Channel 3 on Black Mountain.
Okay. Mr. Lehman, come on over.
It's a dilemma facing all too many pet owners. What do you do when Fido's a fatty?
What I would recommend is cutting all the table scraps out. No people food for your dog.
Veterinarian Catherine Carlson says she tells pet owners to put their dogs on a diet when they're overweight because chubby dogs face the same health consequences as their human counterparts.
They can have major arthritic problems as they get older in their joints. They can have heart problems and lung problems.
But one thing that is a little different, if you make your dog go on a diet, you're not going to hurt her feelings. But you might hurt her owners.
It's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed. The first time I brought her to Dr. Carlson, she said, She laughed. She said, you know, I hate to hurt your feelings, but she looks like a stepping stool because she's a little fat.
Sharon Levy has been bringing Mamacita to this doggy diet clinic. Mamacita's a rescue dog who was pretty plump when Sharon got her. The dog's been running on the clinic's water treadmill and cutting back on the kibble, but like most of us, she's sometimes fallen off the diet wagon.
She's only lost a pound, and I think it's because of Christmas, you know, holidays and treats and things like that.
Christmas and treats, that's not her, that's you.
Yes, that's me, but Mama's a closet eater. In other words, I think she sneaks out in the middle of the night when we're not looking.
Dr. Carlson says pet owners often underestimate what they're feeding their dogs or feel bad saying no. But she says tough love at treat time can help your dog live longer, so it's well worth the effort to follow doctor's orders.
Well, Dr. Carlson thinks she needs to lose 10 pounds.
And as we all know, those last 10 pounds are the toughest. Sheryl Kahn, KESQ News Channel 3. They walked in memory of loved ones they've lost to cancer.
Walking for my uncle. He died of stomach cancer. He knew, but he didn't want to tell anyone else.
And to honor those who are still fighting the fight.
It's hard for the family to see the rock of our family be at a vulnerable point.
Many walked because they themselves survived the disease, happy to be here at all, perhaps a bit nervous that the cancer could come back. Like National City Council member Luis Natividad, cancer-free for 6 years, but still taking nothing for granted.
I thought I would be the last person that would have cancer, and I found out I have double cancer. So it'd be 2 cancers at one time. And they gave me like 6 months to live, and then it's been 6 years.
In some families, cancer has taken a huge toll. These twins lost both their father and grandfather. For them and many others, walking for a cure just feels right.
I walk for my mom, you know, because she has inspired me to do great things in life, and it's a great feeling to represent my mom's life.
Many of those participating in the relay say their main goal is to get people to go to the doctor when they have symptoms instead of putting it off. In National City, Sheryl Kahn, KUSI News.
The USS Kitty Hawk, massive and majestic as it pulls into port. On board, some 5,000 sailors who've been stationed in Japan, anxious to see their loved ones who've been waiting for them.
How often will you come and see a major Navy vessel like this come in with your son on it? So I'm sorry, it's a very exciting event, once in a lifetime event.
Just to see a ship that's been all over the world. I mean, he's told me all the places he's been, and to see it finally here is amazing.
When the sailors go back to Japan, they won't be going on the Kitty Hawk. Instead, the USS George Washington, newly repaired after a devastating fire, will be taking its place. It'll be the first time a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier will be stationed in Japan. Japanese journalists here to cover the transfer say it's a huge story in their country. Because of the bombings of Nagasaki and Hiroshima at the end of World War II, they say, a nuclear-powered U.S. Navy vessel anchored off their shores still raises eyebrows.
Japanese people are very sensitive to the nuclear, so that is why this is a big deal for Japan.
But for now, they're sharing in the excitement of seeing the cross-deck transfer of sailors and equipment from the Kitty Hawk to the George Washington, and the joy of families reuniting after a long time apart.
The ship will be here in San Diego for another couple of weeks. After that, it'll be heading out to Japan.
But while the George Washington gets ready for its next big journey, it's the end of a long run for the Kitty Hawk. After nearly 50 years of service, that ship will be decommissioned next year.
It's the final leg for the Kitty Hawk, so it was great to be a part of history.
At the Naval Air Station North Island, Sheryl Kahn, KUSI News.